Computer. Okay, well, good evening, everybody. Again, thank you for taking the time to join us this afternoon. This is the second one of our community engagement working group meetings. We meet bi-monthly, and we're so excited to have our new resident committee advisors joining us this evening. So we will get to introductions here in just a second. But to introduce myself, I'm Melissa Keene. I'm a senior program manager with the Institute for Local Government. And we, in conjunction with Third City, are running the community engagement portion of the Stockton Mobility Collective project. So welcome, everybody. Here's a quick overview of our agenda for this evening. We have a shorter meeting than normal. We're going to start with some just a welcome and introductions. And then we want to recap the event that we had a few weeks back. We had our first big demonstration project down in Stockton. And so we want to talk about some of the outcomes of that event, and then hopefully debrief a little bit with our partners about what we could do better and what went well. We do want to talk a little bit about the resident committee advisor recruitment and where we stand on that, because we are still recruiting for a few more folks for some of our other working groups, and then just some wrap up and next steps and action items. And we expect to be done around 6 o'clock this evening. So just a few quick Zoom things. I'm sure everybody's very familiar here, but it would be great if you could rename yourself to have your first and last name. And then if you have an affiliation, if you're one of our partners that's from an organization, if you could put your first and last name and your affiliation. And then there's a pretty small group, so we welcome you to just come off mute and chat and share any feedback that you have. But if you don't mind muting when you're not talking, just so we can limit some of that background noise, that would be great. And also feel free to send us a chat if you have any questions or have any challenges. We're happy to help you work through any of that. So just a quick introduction to our team. Most of us are here this evening. Unfortunately, Christine Cross, well, maybe not unfortunately, but she's out on vacation this week, so she's not joining us this evening. But again, I'm Melissa Keene, and I'm joined by my two colleagues from the Institute for Local Government, Hannah Stalmakovich and Nikita Sinha. And then our Third City team is comprised of Jasmine Leake and Steve Hunter. So we'd love to just have everybody around the room do some quick introductions. So if you wanted to share your name, and then if you're with one of our community partners, your title and organization. And then for some of our new folks, I'd love to hear just a quick overview of why you were interested in joining our working group, if you don't mind, and maybe a sentence or so. I'm going to work down the list I see on my end. And so Nikita, I see you up next, if you don't mind just quickly introducing yourself.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Nikita Sinha with ILG. I'm a program manager with ILG, and I've been working on the community engagement team. And I think I've met everybody here.
Perfect. Thanks, Nikita. Caroline, I see you next.
Yeah, I'm Caroline Rodier. I'm a researcher at UC Davis. And I don't really know why I'm here. I don't know if we talked about this, Melissa, last week or a couple of weeks ago, and that's why I'm on it. But I do need to be more involved in community engagement for the next phase of my tasks. So thank you for inviting me, if that's why.
We're happy to have you.
Okay.
Steve, I see you next.
Hey everyone, Steve Hunter. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the program coordinator with Third City Coalition.
Perfect. Thank you, Steve. Christine, I see you next.
Hi, I'm Christine. I'm out of Stockton. And the reason why I want to work closely with the community in that is to be able to bring in a better viewpoint, not just for the house community, but for the unhoused as well. And to be more engaged into the community as an overall. I work with several different organizations. I work with RUN, I work with Faith in the Valley, I work with COC, I work with the Echo Chamber. As part of the homeless ambassador. So I just wanted to join in and see what kind of a difference I can make and learn things in the process.
Well, we are very happy to have you. Thank you so much for joining us, Christine. Jasmine, are you able to come off mute?
Yeah, thanks, Melissa. Hi, everyone. I'm Jasmine Leak. I'm the managing director at Third City Coalition. Yeah, I'm great to be with you all this evening.
Thanks, Jasmine. Hannah, can you go next?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hannah Stelmakovich. I'm not putting my last name on the screen. It's very long. I am also a program manager at the Institute for Local Government, working across public engagement and sustainability pillars, and also part of the STEP project and this working group. And I'm going to pass it to Jonathan.
Thank you. Jonathan Pruitt, the EJ Program Coordinator at Catholic Charities.
Great. Thank you, Jonathan. And last but definitely not least, Patrick, would you mind introducing yourself?
Oh yeah. My name is Patrick. I'm part of the RSSC youth coordination organization, and I'm interested in this community because I'm interested in electric cars, and I want to take and help Stockton take the big step forward of becoming an eco-friendly society. So, yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you again for joining us. We're very excited to have you on board. Okay. So this is just some reminders, since we've got a couple of new folks on the line with us this evening. Wanted to remind you kind of about the purpose and scope of what we're doing here. So we are meeting bi-monthly. So we want to talk about coordination and alignment of community engagement activities and opportunities. We provide information for the public, for the website, other communication channels, to the COG for the STEP project. And then we work with the other project teams, as Carolyn mentioned, to facilitate community input and feedback and share resources and education. We will meet bi-monthly, as I just mentioned. Our meetings usually last 1 to 2 hours, and we are scoped to meet through the end of 2024 or so, depending on the needs of the project. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Nikita, who's going to share a little bit of information about the demonstration event that we had in late March. Nikita?
Yeah, so we had our first event for this project at the end of March with Conway Homes, partnered heavily with the Housing Authority, and just going to do a couple of slides doing an overview of how it went. So some of the goals that we set out for the event were to have attendees try out and learn about e-bikes, to preview the electric vehicles, learn more about what we're trying to do and who we are as a group, get some input on the projects, including locations of siting locations for the e-bike and the e-carshare hubs, and then educate the community on other projects related to environmental justice going on in Stockton through working with a lot of the CBO partners in the area. So you can see a couple photos on the left side of how the event went, and the next slide will have some of the numbers and the quantitative takeaways. So it was a pretty successful event. We definitely met all of the goals that we set out ahead of the event. And some of the highlights included having 3 council members attend the event and try out the e-bikes, which is great for getting support and building some support from the council side for the project. We used a raffle system to track attendees and also give away some great raffle prizes that were donated very kindly through the Housing Authority and through our partner organizations. So 50 raffle tickets in total were submitted. The raffle tickets that were submitted all had attendees who visited a certain number of booths, including carshare, bikeshare, and learned about some of the other CBOs in attendance. We estimate that there was at least 100, if up to 150 attendees in total. 20 organizations came out to table and had some great giveaways, and all the attendees were, really enjoying everything that every organization had to offer. The bikeshare station was a really big hit, and so there was over 55, or almost 55 people who who came out and tried the bikes. Carshare was also got a lot of interest. So there was 30 people total who came and signed up for the Carshare beta testing period. For the siting activity, there was the option to complete an iPad survey, as well as to give feedback on the siting locations through boards that we had up at the carshare and bikeshare stations. There was 21 responses for the iPad surveys, and over 80 people responded on the boards at carshare and bikeshare. There was really great media coverage, including Stockton Record, Lodi News, greenreporter.com, Streets Blog, and ABC 10. And then, like I mentioned, the giveaway and raffles. There was 3 bikes, which went to kids in the neighborhood, which is really cool to see. A lot of swag items, a gas card, a Starbucks card, and some AirPods that were all donated from organizations who were in attendance. Steve, did you have anything else that you wanted to add about the event?
I don't think so. I think you covered it pretty well. And then just to answer Caroline's question, yeah, I can send you the media coverage over.
Perfect. Yeah, we were very, very happy with how the event went. We had really good attendance and response from the community, and we're definitely looking to do additional demonstration events over the coming months to continue to receive that feedback and to really just share information and get the word out about the projects that are coming into Stockton. We did want to spend just a little bit of time hearing from you all about, what went well or what we could do better, either if you were personally at the event or if your organization was there and you had some feedback from your team. Just wanted to pause and give a little bit of space about what we might be able to refine as we continue to work through this and plan future events. So if there's anything that you all liked or that we might be able to do a little bit differently, we're all ears. Christine, feel free to come off mute and share your thoughts.
Yeah, I had a blast. I was there at the event. Matter of fact, I got there at 8:30 because I had helped my friend Pandora set up for the event. She's one of the running coordinators of the Conroy House, and one of the event planners for the Housing Authority itself. So I had a lot of fun there. Just getting to meet the different organizations, learn more about the bikes and the e-cars and all of that. There were few, I think they said there was a few people that did not show in attendance as far as the vendors, but other than that, I had a blast.
That's always great to hear. And we were so thankful for Pandora's support and everybody at the Housing Authority and on the council that provided all of the support and assistance and really made it the event that it was. So thank you for being there and thank you for your thoughts. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I have a follow-up question for you, Christine. Were you able to actually try one of the e-bikes?
Yes, I did. And where I'm used to riding an actual bike, the e-bike kind of scared me a little bit when it took off on it. A lot quicker than what I was expecting.
Sure. But overall, do you think that they were, I guess just what was your reaction overall?
My overall reaction was that I really did enjoy the e-bikes. I think that it's a better energy saver. And it's also, how do I put it? It's also a lot easier to pedal for those that are elderly. They can get up on the bikes and get to places where they need to go because you don't have to push as hard to pedal. And it goes at a pretty good speed to where you'd be able to maneuver with that. So I think it's an excellent invention.
Love to hear that. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad you had a really good experience, and we hope more people in the community have that same experience as we continue with this project. Jonathan, I see your hand.
Yeah, no, I felt it was very, very organized. When you're in the weeds, you don't really see it, but I know for sure once people do the responsibilities, it works very well. And so I'm glad you guys were able to really come through with getting the media coverage. It's really, really good. I tend to forget to do that sometimes with my events. So that's really a good coordination on your guys' end. And you know, everyone was asking questions. You know, as I was sitting down, I sat back and I just like was closing my eyes to get a feel of like, are people talking? And it was loud. People were really talking. And then listening to the questions that people were having, it was in regards to all of this. And a lot of times, and I'm hoping over time, people are going to realize we have a lot going in Stockton. And so the typical question from residents is, how long have you guys been around? I had no idea you guys were around. Like, I didn't know you guys provided these services. And so hopefully the right people, the right community leaders will be able to share this out to their own community. And it will become sort of a really cool, like it will really change the culture, especially the bike culture in Stockton, and saying, you know, there are actually really cool technologies available here. I think you guys did as a good first event. I think it was really good. I didn't get to drive the cars. I always, unfortunately, I don't know. I think it was just because I was so much over there, probably to the food, not to the actual cars. Yeah. So maybe that was just on my fault, but maybe next time be able to do sort of an announcement here and there about, hey, everyone, just to let you know, there are also bikes and there are also cars. Please take advantage of them and that sort of thing. Maybe that continuous reminder would be helpful. Everything else is really good.
Yeah, and unfortunately the cars weren't available to drive this time, so you didn't actually miss out on anything. But we are looking for that ability to build into future events once they have more of the fleet available and the chargers are installed and things like that. So that's definitely something we're trying to make work for future events. So appreciate that feedback. But just wanted to let you know that you didn't actually miss out on anything. Very good point about the additional reminders and information out about what's available. We can definitely make sure we're doing that. There was a lot going on. So having those reminders to folks about what they can do and what else is going on and when things are happening from a timing perspective, we will definitely make a note of that. But we were very happy to see all of the engagement and the media coverage as well. So appreciate those thoughts. Anything else from like a vendor or partner perspective from tabling that you want to share that we can think about from the setup or anything like that? It's fine if not. Just want to.
Well, I was surprised people actually went to the other side, like where the fence was. There were times where I totally forgot that they were there, Valley Air District being one of them, but people actually went to those ones. So I really wanted to, I didn't even know. So like maybe it would have been helpful to have the organization, the partners know exactly where those other ones being over there, so that if there's ever a question directly that we couldn't answer, we would be able to say, hey, but they know where it was at.
So maybe having a site map or something with all of the.
I think Steve, you did have one.
We were letting.
I don't know
kind of
if it was behind.
Where they wanted,
if it located them behind the fence, sort of thing. I don't remember if that was on the map. But anyway, I mean, any sort of reminders is helpful.
Perfect. No, appreciate that. Yeah, no, we the site map, Steve's laughing because it was quite the process for us to get that pulled together. So really big kudos to Steve for working with what we had. But we will make a note that might be something we can do a little bit more streamlined in the future. Jasmine, I saw that your hand was up. Did your question get answered?
No questions. I was just really wanted to thank Jonathan for the point about reminders throughout the day. I think we made some comments in the beginning and then kind of near the end when we were closing down, but and then we had a little reminders during like the raffles, but I think maybe just more intentionality for people who may be coming and going, because there were a lot of people there that day. So it'd be good to just note that we should build in time for reminders about orienting folks and wayfinding, things like that. Even questions around the bathroom accessibility. I know at some point if we're trying to figure out like where the bathrooms were. So just maybe housekeeping, adding housekeeping to that as well. Yeah, but otherwise I thought it was a fantastic event and really appreciate our partners who were vendors or donated raffle prizes and shared the word with the community. I think that, we really appreciate you. So thanks.
Completely agree. Any final thoughts here before we move on? Okay. But yeah, just want to echo Jasmine's thank you, and a thank you to all of our partners that aren't on the line. I think it was a very successful first event, and we are very grateful for all of the support we received through all of our partners. So next, we want to just talk about some of the things we have coming up in terms of events and opportunities where we will be. And then we definitely welcome other ideas from you all, but want to let you know what's in the hopper for now. So Hannah's going to talk a little bit about some of our upcoming events.
Yes, absolutely. So demonstration event was, the way I think about it, just like getting our, hands wet, because it's one of the many events of this project that, as we mentioned at the beginning, has multiple components, bringing e-bikes to Stockton, electric cars to Stockton, some type of financial incentives to ease the burden of using those alternative modes of transportation. So right now, what we're doing next as part of our community engagement, we are going to people's events. Potentially in the future, we'll have events that we organize, but right now we are going to the people events. And right now what's happening is new service mobility survey. So the service mobility survey is live, it's online, and some of the participants at the events were able to take the survey on the tablet. I think Nikita mentioned like 50 people, but we're still looking for more participation, because where community feedback is going to be helpful for this survey is really to understand what is the most convenient siting locations for bike share and car share stations. In other way, where are people going to pick up those bikes, where are they going to drop, and depending on what are the destinations people usually go. So we'll try and the car share and bike share team trying to understand what are the best locations. And just overall solicit feedback on any transportation needs. So any program or project design, as the teams continue to move forward, really reflects what residents on the ground need. And as I mentioned, surveys available in English and Spanish. And sometimes they say, a picture worth 1,000 words. So if I can briefly just show you what's in the survey. So to pick your interest to take the survey. For Jonathan, Patrick, Christine, if you haven't had a chance, please take a survey, participate, and also to help us to spread the word about the survey. Melissa, I do need screen share permission, please. And I'm going to share the English version of the survey, but we fully translated it in Spanish. So hopefully we'll be able to reach some Spanish-speaking participants as well. Melissa, I don't know if it's easier for you to share if I drop the link.
Yeah, let's just do that. This is not my account.
Faster.
So, let's go this way.
Okay, so this is the survey. We used online platform that called MetroQuest, and that platform allows you to design those type of interactive, what I call surveys, where people can click on things, people can read the instructions. So it's not just your boring, Google form survey, which we have nothing against too, if there's not enough resources. So this is kind of the first page that talks about what the project is, what we're hoping to achieve with the surveys. So when you click on the next page, the second page, e-bike share locations, it provides the little instructions, what we are trying to do here. So it starts with instructions, so people are not confused what to do. And once they read the instructions, they can close it. Yep. And start clicking on the blue points on the map. So this is some of the initial location ideas for e-bike share hubs, again, picking up the bikes, dropping the bikes, depending where you're going. So once people click on those blue dots, they can provide feedback if it's a good location or not. And in orange, you can see the project area, the step, our project area. So on the next tab, we're gonna have, the e-bike share team would like to understand what are the destinations that people are going to. Again, being very intentional about community on the ground, actually residents who will be using those electric bikes and where they're going, what is the best way, where's the best way to pick up the bike, drop it off, things like that. So this is just general destinations. And the next tab is electric car share locations, pretty much the same drill as with electric bikes, but you can see a little bit less number of squares. It's green squares, some of the initially proposed locations. And just to wrap up, so it's very brief, interactive survey, again tapping into the community experiences and potential future day-to-day experience of how they're going to use the electric bikes, where we're going, what is the most convenient locations for them. We do have another version in Spanish, and we do need help with promoting that survey. Caroline.
Hi, did the mobility wallet survey drop out of this? The mobility wallet?
I was just noticing that myself.
Yeah, because
Let me check on that for you, Caroline, because I know we refined those questions, and let me double check on that.
Okay.
I might have dropped the demo link, because now that I'm looking at the address, it says demo.
So this could be not the final version, but this okay, yeah, let's double check on that, because Caroline, I'm surprised it's not here too. So
Okay.
this,
and I haven't seen the, I'm wondering if you're going to share the data as it comes in, or I mean, does anyone have access to the data?
COG? Yeah, the COG has access. Isaiah is my main point of contact.
Okay, so you guys, it's totally my bad, because I dropped the link from the what's saved on my toolbar, and here's the correct link, the one that is live.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I saw it on there.
I know I was a little confused too, Caroline. Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah, the branding,
Oh, here we
I think,
go.
as well
Yes.
as kind of giving it away. Yeah,
Here
We do have the correct links.
Here we go.
We do have the correct links on the agenda on the PowerPoint. This is just me in the action, grabbing the wrong link. So to what Caroline is saying, there is also, as I mentioned, those financial incentives. We would like residents to use the alternative modes of transportation, and the project intends to provide some type of incentive structure to encourage using those services. And what we're also asking residents feedback is what type of incentive structure out of this 4 different options that goes between lesser amount of participants but bigger amounts of money, to bigger amounts of participants but lesser amount of money. So we're also asking community feedback on that. And it includes a description of the structure, several questions about application requirements. So again, the goal is to really design these programs that serve community with the community in mind. For that, we need resident participations. So we appreciate our partners to help us and promote that survey. We can go to the next slide. Okay, well, maybe before we talk, okay.
I just had one quick question. I didn't quite understand Isaiah, like, is that a COG, SJCOG person who has access to the?
Yes, he's
Okay.
my contact at the COG. So I'm happy to reach out to him and see if he can share the initial data, or if you want to.
I just want to know the contact.
Yeah, or I can also send an email to both of you to connect you if that's the best way.
She's nodding.
Okay.
So other community events, going back to, we're going to go to different community events to promote these projects, to promote the survey, to promote future, presence in the community and what we're doing. We're going to be attending Earth Day Festival that's coming up this weekend at Victory Park in Stockton. We're also going to be present at Cinco de Mayo, multicultural festival and parade, and we expect a lot of folks, and hopefully we'll reach our Spanish-speaking participants. Again, talking about the projects, what's coming to Stockton, whatnot. And Stockton Flavor Fest is also on our radar. We plan to participate. So this is just immediate events in the next month or two. And what we would like this group to help us with is identifying any other community events that you know of that's coming up, where we can reach Stockton residents to either promote the survey, to potentially do e-bikes demonstrations, e-car demonstrations, talk about incentive structure, have dialogue with the residents. So Melissa, if you can go to the next slide.
I just want to note one quick thing before we open it up for everybody, especially since Caroline is on the line. Another piece of this puzzle that we are working to do that isn't an explicit event is we are looking to host potentially some focus groups where we can get some really targeted feedback from folks, particularly around the incentive structure that we just mentioned that we were just showing you on the Metro Quest. So that's another piece of this puzzle. But as Hannah just mentioned, we would also love to hear from you all. If you know of any other events or other opportunities that are coming up that we might be able to attend, make a short presentation at, share flyers or information or anything like that. So would love to hear from you all if there's other ideas or things that we should be considering.
Maybe we'll ask Christine, Patrick, Jonathan, if you guys can chime in and share your community knowledge with us.
Well, I don't know of any events, but I do know that where you guys were talking about the little, I guess you could say, stipend thing for the 12 months net for the pass thing. That would be really good to try and reach out to the homeless people, like at St. Mary's, the Gospel Mission, because the homeless can use that really bad. And that would also help reaching the homeless, sharing stuff with them about the e-bikes and that, and those that have licenses, the e-cars, because the homeless can use that for transportation to get back and forth to work or to doctor's appointments and things that they need to be able to get to hopefully be able to get into housing and stable, more stable thing, as transportation is a big issue with the homeless in itself. So whether it's bus passes or whatnot, I know would be beneficial as well.
Thank you, Christine, for sharing and for pointing out to this group that we need to do more targeted outreach. Nikita, did we catch the name?
Yeah, Christine, I think you said St. Mary's. Was that correct?
Yeah, St. Mary's or even the Gospel Mission. Because there's a lot of people that hang out in both locations, even down there at the Salvation Army. There's a lot of different areas that can be targeted to be able to help not just those that are in housing, but those that are not in housing as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Christine. We're gonna go next to Patrick and then Jasmine and Caroline.
Yeah, well, I heard Changes was gonna create an event during the summer, and there's gonna be a lot of people there, I heard. So I think that'll be a good place to promote this collective and promote what we are doing.
Patrick, could you share the name of the group again?
Changes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Caroline?
Yeah, I just wanted to share with you that I have been coordinating with the bike sharing and car sharing to see if the mobility, and you probably have been too. I don't know how these things, I think people are connecting in parallel, but we wanted to go together. So when when we go see a group to show them about the bike sharing and car sharing, I can also talk about the transportation vouchers,
Mhm.
the reduction in costs. And then, I can talk about, overview, get perspectives from the community about barriers and what they think, how issues should be addressed, like what's really important to the. I'm also involved in doing the evaluation for the study, and we wanted to understand from the community's perspectives, what would be successful outcomes of the pilot programs, and what kinds of problems they think that these pilots can address from their perspective, or if we're missing something here. So if
as much coordination as we can do, Caroline, I recommend, so that we're not having a million meetings. If we can,
I'm
that's
going to
great.
go with them. So they're scheduling meetings, and I could go with them. But I think we would like to have as many. If you all like, we'd love to set up a meeting, with these homeless these home housing people where I guess they're shelters that help the houseless population, and any other groups that may be interested and like to could give us like an hour or 2 hours to show the services and chat about them.
Yeah, I think it's a both and situation, not an either or. So we'll still continue along the path that we discussed a couple weeks ago, and but I'm happy to hear that you're also coordinating with the bike share and car share teams.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll follow up on that front shortly.
There's a lot of partners on this project, a lot of working teams, a lot of coordination. So yes, thank you, Caroline, for helping to coordinate. Jasmine.
I was just going to say, I spoke with Max Calder about this, and I wanted to bring it to this group before I move forward with Max Cal. But something that came up in one of our debriefs was about from the March 26th event was to look into potentially making up like flyers or like placards that could be placed in the buses. And RTD, being a project partner, said that they could support our team in printing up and doing that potentially. So I wanted to just put that out there and see with our community members who are on the line, do you think that, that's a good investment of our time? Do you think that people will see that on the bus? Do you all ride the bus? Like, I just kind of wanted to hear from the group generally how we feel about that idea before moving too far forward and developing the collateral and things like that.
And I see Patrick's hand. Jasmine, in 2 words, what would be on the placards?
I think we could probably have a link to the link tree for the projects, maybe, or a link tree to like just a general Stockton Mobility Collective kind of link that people could scan, and it would maybe pop up with the link to the surveys or like a current call to action, maybe something like that. That way it's more evergreen, and they could keep the placards up throughout the duration of the project, and people could just get like the real up-to-date kind of call to action. Okay. I'm sure that RTD would have some sort of, their marketing team is great and they're always really clever and they come up with clever ideas. So maybe they would have better ideas about what that could look like, but the idea would be to have people scan the link and see what's going on, what's the latest.
So kind of back to Jonathan's point, people don't know what's happening, so kind of educate them.
Yeah, it could be a way to do that. But I just think the buses, I'm curious specifically about, using that as a medium for kind of getting the word out. If people think that that's what we should be doing, or should we be doing kind of bigger marketing,
well,
like on billboards or something? I don't even know if we would be able to do that, but.
Melissa's like, what, big boards? Let's hear from Patrick and Christine, and then we'll go to Steve.
Yeah, maybe we can reach out to like high schools and then maybe students can go try to promote it, like go door to door or something like that. And then in exchange, they can obtain community service hours, because I know a lot of people at my high school on community service hours.
It's a great suggestions. Any feedback on the bus ideas for the bus, Patrick?
I don't really know a lot about bus advertising, so I can't really
And that's totally
give you any. Yeah.
I love the idea for the community service for the school kids. Christine.
I think the bus idea would be a wonderful thing. I myself ride the bus, so being it there, but making sure that we get it like down at Union Station, down over there at the Hammer Triangle Station, not just the RTD central downtown location, but make sure we get them off in the branches as well. But I think that would be a wonderful target. Even the where they turn around at I think it's the Metropolitan Station up over there off of Hammer Lane. I take the bus quite frequently, so but I think that would be a wonderful way to get it out and get it situated for other people to get information and decide if that's just something that they want to be able to do.
That's great. Steve?
Yeah, I think the bus placard idea is really, really great. I want to add to that though. I'm curious how people, I haven't ridden the bus in Stockton, so how are people paying for it? Is there a card that they use kind of a thing? Is it cash? Do you know?
They have mobile ticketing
Google
on the
Ticketing?
Vamos.
A mobile app.
They have a Vamos app.
If RTD is in charge of the app, I'm wondering if when people go to buy their ticket, if a little like pop-up can happen that has the survey or something, or the Vamos, something kind of integrate paying, like thank you for your purchase, like take 2 minutes to like give us your feedback on whatever. I don't know how successful those are, but kind of using the purchasing of the bus since RTD is a partner, as a way to kind of sneak in the survey.
I love the idea of sneaking in survey in the existing channels that people already use, such as purchasing tickets and apps.
We can push out a survey. We could push out a survey to Vamos users. We're already surveying them.
Is there a way to have it as a pop-up though, Caroline? Do you know?
Well,
In the app?
so my colleague Brian is the expert in all the details, but I believe we can't do a pop-up. We could ask, but it can be sent through notifications or sent to the email address.
Okay.
We have almost 300 people who've signed up for the app.
That'd be great. Yeah, let's we can talk more about that offline, but I think that would be a great opportunity to share that as well.
And if there are, okay, so we can do that. You've already got the survey organized. And I guess it's just, if there are other kind of listservs that you could use to circulate it.
That's great. See, Steve, we're already putting your idea into action. Love it. Jonathan.
Is there a centralized location or like I guess an information desk for folks that go to school like Delta or UOP, where, for me, what I would do, but it really depends if people are, if they're open to do that. But for me, I don't really, they won't know who I am after a while, but I actually go to the bus stops and I actually just sit there and I act like I'm going on to the buses, but then I actually just come up to them and be like, hey, did you know this sort of thing, and something like that. From there, that's sort of another approach I found beneficial, that people say, hey, we're all in this together, going into, canvassing bus stops. We're just going onto a bus, and it puts them on edge at first because everyone looks down on their phones.
Mhm.
This one would actually bring a conversation, and who knows, you just never know. It doesn't hurt to try it.
I love the idea.
Yeah,
Sort
both
of
of those
meeting people where they are at the bus stops.
But I also love the idea about Delta College and UOP too. If there's an information desk or online bulletin board or something that we can share information on, I think that's a great idea too. Appreciate the suggestions.
Yes, thank you. I think we got the robust list of suggestions that we can definitely explore and make it next steps out of it. So thank you everyone for contributions. If you can think of anything else, how can we promote, market the survey or upcoming community events between now and the end of the meeting, drop it in the chat box and we will also follow up with that request.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about additional recruitment that we're working on for the resident committee advisors as well. So Nikita, do you want to give a quick update here?
Yeah, so we received 4 applications for the RCA positions. Steve and I conducted a couple interviews. 3 interviews have been completed, and we are very excited to have Christine and Patrick here with a really short turnaround, and their feedback is already so valuable. And we are still looking to recruit for the additional positions that are open, especially in the working groups for shared mobility and workforce, as well as the steering committee overall. So we are looking for your help to spread the word, including if you have people in mind that you think might be a good fit for any of those working groups, to refer the position to them. I think all those, the 3 working groups where there are positions open are quarterly. There are $50 a meeting stipends. And if there's somebody that you have in mind, please share it with them. Or if not, just share it out through any of the channels that you have available to you so that we can continue to connect with folks in the community who will be invaluable for the project as we continue.
Perfect. Any questions from the group on where we are in the process or how you can help? You see the URL there that all of the information is posted on the COG's website. Steve, something to add?
Yeah, I have a question actually for Christine and Patrick. Christine, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, that you heard about the position through Pandora. If not, let me know. And then Patrick, how did you hear about the open position?
Yes, I did
heard
hear about it through
Oh.
Pandora.
Makes sense. Okay, thanks. And how about you, Patrick?
Yeah, I heard it from my brother, so he referred me to the position. So yeah, that's how I heard it from him.
We will follow up with some materials. What's in the work right now, we are almost done finalizing recruitment flyer for this position. We also drafted some social media outreach posts. So if you can, Jonathan, Christine and Patrick, if you guys can, utilize social media or reach out to a few of your friends. Perhaps you have several people in mind that you can personally reach out and say, hey, this is what's happening. Would you like to participate and earn stipend, whatnot? We greatly appreciate that help.
Yeah, sounds like word of mouth is what's helping here. So we appreciate anybody that can help spread the word. Okay. I think that's really it for our agenda for this evening. Just wanted to open up for any final questions or thoughts. And then we've got a couple of just wrap up things to share with you all. Okay.
Currently, I don't have any questions, so yeah.
No problem. Just wanted to share a few kind of wrap up thoughts and next steps from us. Again, really asking to help promote the application as well as the mobility survey that we talked about through any newsletter channels you have, social media, word of mouth, etc. If you have things that you want to talk about in this venue, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or anybody on the team and share those topics, and we can get those on the agenda. As Hannah mentioned, we will be sharing some additional content to help you do that. So we'll be sending some language and some links and flyers and things like that as we have those coming online. And then just a note to mark your calendars for the next meeting, which will be June 16th. And I do see a couple of hands. So Jasmine.
Yeah, thanks so much, Melissa. I was just going to say, you know, we hope to see you all at some of our upcoming events. And one more thing, I was going to say this earlier, but I think my audio was cutting out a little bit. If you know of community events that we should be at, we're always looking for suggestions. You know, we can't be everywhere all the time, but if you know of a community event that you think we should be attending, where people would want to hear about our e-bikes or the EV car share or any of the programs that are part of Stockton Mobility Collective, let us know and we'll see if we can make it out there, because we want to meet people, and we know that you all probably know other groups that we could plug in with, so we want to do that. So yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for being here this evening.
Definitely agree with everything Jasmine just said. Patrick?
I was wondering if the this PowerPoint will be provided in the chat, or
We can, I'll send around a follow-up note with the PowerPoint, as well as some of the other these other items that we just mentioned. So the link to the survey, the link to the application, all of those types of things. We'll send that out in a recap.
Yes, and we'll follow up with the promotional language as soon as it's finalized, because there's a lot of partners, a lot of finalizing with this project.
Definitely. Any other questions? I'll go ahead and put up all of our email contact information for our team. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions, or as Jasmine and Hannah and I have all mentioned, if you have additional events or organizations we should be interacting with, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Jonathan?
Yeah, so I remember seeing on, I think, the random social media post, it's one of those random days, I was looking at people's Instagram profiles, and one that came up was an actual page, and it was a bike club page. It was a like one of those pages where they organize like group bike meetings across Stockton. They actually do it across kind of California, but I think they're predominantly in Stockton. Have we thought about sort of maybe looking into that, like finding where are the folks that probably have ridden in these streets and can give us some insight of like what they feel would be a good idea? Because I don't know, I'm thinking of like what would be a good group to like get the word out on things.
We've talked to some of the organizations that do that, but I think that's a great idea to go directly to some of the residents. So I haven't done a deep dive from the social media front, but that's a great idea to think about Facebook groups or other folks that may be convening like that. Jasmine, they connected with that particular group? Okay.
I believe so.
Go ahead.
Her team actually went out on one of those large rides. I can't remember if it was a Saturday or Sunday, but they trekked all over the town, all over the city. I think even Christine went out with them that day. So Christine, when she at our next meeting, hopefully, or even at one of our coordination meetings, maybe she can shed some more light on that. But yeah, they were definitely in touch. The bikeshare team has gotten in touch with those groups. So we'll make sure to loop them in when we're doing part of like any outreach and communications. We should follow up with whoever the bikeshare group connected with. I think it was just like Jonathan said, like a resident that is unaffiliated with any organizations, but attends those meetups. So yeah, we should definitely get in touch.
Caroline?
Is there a list of who they've contacted? Like, is there, I'm sure you guys have it because you guys have to monitor that, right?
I can send that to you, Caroline.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd get a context.
Yeah.
That's excellent point, Jonathan. And I think one of the reasons of having you guys on the group is because there's this community members who just organize through social media that we might necessarily don't know, cannot Google. So any of that community knowledge, thank you for sharing and bringing this up.
Okay. I think that's it on our end. I'll go ahead and stop share so we can see everybody. Any final questions or comments or thoughts before we disconnect for the night? Okay, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody for joining us. I know that there's more fun ways to spend your evening, so really appreciate you joining us and sharing all of your thoughts and feedback and ideas. As we've talked about, this has been super helpful. Really appreciate all of the feedback and direction, and we will definitely take that into consideration as we plan future events and do future outreach. So we will look for that follow-up email probably early next week. I'm out all day tomorrow, unfortunately, at another meeting, but we'll get that to you as soon as possible with the slide deck and some of that other follow-up information. So just a huge thank you from our team, and we will talk to you all soon.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Bye, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thanks, everyone.